Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The best time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
402-403-9478. It's our phone number. You can text us. Or it's Pat and JT, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Rhianna Mays is here. Hi, Rhianna.
Hello.
What's up?
I'm happy to be back.
I've missed you.
I've missed you.
We were talking this morning. I'm like, I hope we get to see her today because we have a schedule, but things have been like all up in the air, and it's not like anything's written in stone, of course. But
well, and between like kid orthodontist appointments and kids being sick, I've had to reschedule a couple of times, and I always hate doing that. And then there's when I said, okay, I'll be totally honest here. I've some confessional time. So when I said I feel like I need to go down to one time a month, it's because I had that fear pop up. Do I have enough to say? Do I have 2 episodes a month of content? And it's a silly fear, and I know it's coming up right now, and it does correlate to the full moon energy that we're feeling right now.
The moon's freaking humongous.
Okay, did you see the pink moon?
It was amazing. It's incredible, yeah.
But excuse me.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible.
Right now, it's huge.
This is interesting that you bring this up because I also saw your post recently that correlated with that, but you didn't mention the moon. Maybe you did, but the thing that resonated with me was the feeling like things are unsettled. Like it's not necessarily anxiety, but it's just kind of like
waiting for the shoe to drop.
Something like that, right? And we just talked about this week about a stress stream that I had where I was on a Zoom call with Schick and Nick and Pat.
So random.
And I'm at home and I realized I stood up to go grab something in the kitchen or whatever, and I don't have my pants on. And everybody got to see my underpants. And I'm like, I haven't had a stress dream just at all forever. But and then it's so weird how specific that is to where we are right now. Because it used to be my stress dreams were all about being in a radio station, getting locked out of the studio, not being able to start the next song or leaving your microphone on and everybody hears you, all those typical rookie mistakes, right?
You work at Come and Go, you probably have a stress dream of you forgot to lock the safe, you didn't start off the pizza oven.
There's stress dreams for everything.
When I worked in retail, I remember I worked at Clinique and it was gift time. And back when I did it, it was a really big deal, right? And we had like tons of people waiting in line. And I remember walking around to my room in the middle of the night and my ex-husband's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I can't sleep. There's customers that need help. And I literally thought I had like,
dream. I'm being serious. I never really thought about that.
It is, it's your body and your subconscious processing out what's going on. But right now the energy seems to be endings, closing chapters, wrapping up details. So like a lot of people reporting that people are popping up in their dreams, people they haven't thought of for years, situations that they haven't thought of. And it is really the energy supporting, just energetically closing those chapters and wrapping all that up so that you can move forward into the new energies that are coming in.
So is that like the perfectly timed? I saw your post on Facebook. Was yesterday or the day before?
About neither one of you really interact with my stuff. Thank you. I'm glad you're watching me.
Well, totally creeping.
Totally trolling.
I'm just kidding.
Did you go on a date?
Oh God, yeah. Oh my God.
So is that a good thing? So is that a good thing?
This ties in right this minute.
Well, but I mean, is it a good thing to do like during the full moon energy and endings and all that stuff? Why mix in a first date?
So if you've ever worked,
maybe okay. I guess you could be ending that window.
Well, okay. So full moon is the perfect time to end certain behaviors, thought patterns, beliefs, ways of being. And it's also releasing the stuff that no longer serves you. And that could be a job. It could be a partnership. It could be, it could be status of being single. So maybe I did do it because who doesn't want to add a little bit of first date drama to a full moon?
Right.
But no, I really didn't correlate it to that on purpose. But I just feel, so what it is though, it's the universe is tugging at us, right?
I don't care about that. How'd your date go?
Oh, but I just want to say the universe is always tugging at us, it is like guiding us. Our internal GPS system is guiding us, and I just felt like I needed to put myself back out there, and then I deleted the app after 3 days because I'm like, okay, that's enough out there.
Dip your toe in that pool.
Isn't it just like overwhelming? I mean, seriously, it's like Okay, never mind. Oh my God.
You know what really is stinky about the whole like online dating thing is because, okay, so I feel your energy, right? So you might not be like super hot on you might not be very photogenic, but you might have just this energy that is like, oh my God, I need to be around you. You know what I mean? And it's really hard, especially for men somehow to convey it in a picture. Like they usually aren't
shirtless on a beanbag chair in a basement,
with a beer
isn't?
can?
They're usually not that
sitting on a folding
photogenic.
chair.
So I seriously thought about starting a side gig of teaching men how to take a selfie, specifically for like profiles.
That's a great idea
stuff.
because dudes need help with that because they take in general. Most guys take pictures of what they like instead of like portraying who they want to attract in. So a guy with a beer and a pool stick, it's like no woman's like, oh, that's so hot.
But it's not even that, because I think there had to have been an article in like Maxim magazine or something that said take a picture with your nephew, your niece, a fish, or a dog.
Absolutely.
And like that's just everybody, right? But I mean just even angles. Like if you hold the phone at your waist and I can see right up your nose, it's not that awesome. It's not a great picture, and I bet there's a better angle for you that would allow me to see maybe your eyes.
Right? That even before, it was like before even selfies came along, I'm thinking like 10, 15 years ago, right? And we were taking pictures at work. And I was like adamant, would you guys please think about angles when you're taking pictures of people and quit taking pictures of people from their feet to their head. They want to see their face. Get in closer and get a little bit above them, so that you're looking down on them. I'm just like
or down angle, down angle.
And I remember trying always with whoever's taking the pictures. Would you stand on a chair and take the? I'm just like drives me crazy.
But oh my God, the random stuff we talk about. But my date went really well on one account.
Okay, good. Because I want to ask you about the dating apps too in a second.
Okay,
because I've never been on one. Okay.
Wow, I came to talk about the full moon.
Oh my God.
We'll get there.
This is what the full moon does. That's right.
Okay, that's totally real though. That is the thing. Because I know like when I worked in retail, even before I knew moon cycles, I always knew it was a full moon based on how people were behaving.
Well, that has to be
true. And the police,
true.
I guess, and fire know the same thing.
Yeah.
Like it just makes people wonky, right?
Right.
But okay, so the date was good. He was outgoing and energetic, and he was a conspiracy realist like me. We wore tinfoil hats together. I'm just kidding, we didn't, but we could have. And he was telling me things, and I was like, oh my God. So either this guy has been studying my Facebook profile or he's on the same page, which is awesome because I feel like I've done enough work, like through the failed marriage and the choices I made to get there, and really falling in love with myself and knowing that I'm worthy of a great partner, that and I'm worthy of showing up and being a great partner. And so I know I attracted in what would be stimulating for me, a conversation. Like, I don't want to talk about the weather. I don't want to talk about Husker football. I mean, I'll watch it with you, but I don't.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And it's just not my thing. So I'm attracting in what is my thing. However, he was only separated and not divorced yet, and has a long healing journey of his own to go on. And though I understand the marriage being over long before the actual divorce takes place, because I feel like that's what mine was too, I decided a long time ago I'm not a rehabilitation center. I'm going to attract a partner that is equally as healed as I am, if not more, and so that I don't have to pull you up. You can meet me.
So you're not looking for someone to take care of you, and you're not looking for someone to take care of in that respect.
Yeah,
it's
no,
like,
I would love a partner.
You want somebody who cares, but it's like, I don't need to be fixed.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to fix you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of
I understand
empaths and a lot of women, I think we think we need to do that, where it's like I'm lovingly and patiently waiting for the men to do their own internal work so they can meet me and a lot of the other women where we are right now.
It's true. You see a lot of relationships where women time and again, because they keep repeating the cycle to fix somebody, then they fix them and then they leave. And then the guy leaves, because now he no longer has a need for what she has to offer.
Yeah.
Because she's there to fix him
Like flipping a house.
It's like
you fix it and you sell it. Get rid of it.
Except she's not selling it. Somebody like, right? You know,
Yeah.
it's like, you know what I mean? She's not voluntarily giving this up. It's
Right.
like she fixed everything and now somebody else gets to enjoy the fruits of her labor.
You're just no longer. I mean, if your intention is that you feel like you have to prove your worthiness through healing somebody or fixing them, as soon as they don't need that anymore, you're no longer a vibrational match. So it really does come back to you and what you think you deserve or what you want. You know what I mean?
It's just hard to recognize that.
Yeah, but once you recognize that pattern,
that makes sense.
You know, if people, if they could take a 10,000 foot overview of the patterns in their life and just ask why is that showing up? So like on this app, I ran into a guy that I went on a date with like in 2015, like when my separation was happening.
Yeah.
We'd gone on a date. He's a great guy, but he, there was something about him that wasn't interested in me, and that's fine. And I ran into him again on the app, and I said, "Hey, how are you? Like, how's it going?" And he said, "I just seem to keep attracting married women that are bored." And I was like, "Well, there's something in you that believes you're worthy of that, right?
Yeah.
Like, what do you actually want?" And then I encouraged him to fix the belief that he's only attracting these married women. Or what is it? What is that? Do you not want to actually settle down? Do you want the shortness of a married woman fling? What is that? So I just wished him well.
And saying it out loud is just attracting more of the same because he's confirming his own beliefs. Basically, that's crazy. Yeah. So, you had dating app questions?
I was just asking, like, why? Like you said, 3 days you deleted the app because it was just a circus. What? Tell me why. Like, what did you have? It's like certain. Well, like besides the obvious, like, did you have any?
Bottom feeders?
Dudes are dirtbags, so I'm assuming as soon as they see new meat on the dating app, they dive and they go after.
Well, the nice thing is I chose one where they can't all just message me. Like I get to choose who I want to match with.
Yeah,
that's good.
It is. It is. So it's weird because like I have a lot of popularity on dating apps because I think I'm blonde and blue-eyed and have a pretty smile. And then I make sure that I show my body several times because I'm not petite, right? So I'm like, no surprise when you actually meet me. But they do want a lot of, they just want sex. I think there's people right now, the energy is asking people to stop and look at old behaviors and choices they're making and patterns in their life. And a lot of people are unwilling to do that. So they just distract. Whether it's an app or an addiction or whatever, people are just looking to distract themselves right now.
Makes
where
sense.
that same pattern is going to keep showing up over and over again. The one thing I noticed this time is a lot of men say no drama. And
yes, they do.
They don't want the drama, but what I think they really mean is they don't want emotions.
Yeah,
because women are incredibly emotional, and that is actually where we're going. And I've said this before, we're leaving the logical brain and going into the heart, and the emotions are the GPS center. It is your tracking. It is telling you if you're on the right track or not. But women are so in tune with nature. We have cycles just like nature does. We feel everybody else's stuff. And so are we dramatic or are we just really in tune?
Yeah.
And is it uncomfortable for you because you're so usually out of tune and just want to focus on very surface things?
I think it is very much that. I think that when they say no drama, that basically means no commitment. That means there's no, you know what I mean? There's no give and take. It's just satisfying one aspect of their life, and that's it. And
no drama, maybe no commitment. You're right. But it also feels very like I have a family member that has a family member. I don't want to go into too much detail, but she's very emotional, and it makes him incredibly uncomfortable because if she's feeling one way, she honors that. She's really honoring her inner being and not shoving it down and ignoring it and pretending like she's fine. And I personally look at her and think a lot of us could actually learn from her. Like she's being authentic, right? But it makes him uncomfortable because he won't look at his emotions. And he also thinks emotions and women are drama queens.
Isn't that a lot of guys though? Like a lot of guys don't look at their emotions. They just kind of go through. It's very simple.
They're taught not
wanna
to.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I think that they just don't like.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not acceptable.
I will. I don't care. You know, I watch girl shows and I'm an emotional person, but a lot of my friends just don't do it.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Well, it's our culture. They've been taught and conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
Even as little boys, they've been taught, oh, be a man, don't cry, you know, and that is, I know it's a large part of why we're just as a culture, we're sicker and sicker. We've never been more sick. It's because that trapped emotion creates dis-ease, or there is no ease in the body, which creates disease, right? And so that's, that's what I do for a living. It's my purpose is to help alleviate and remove a lot of that blocked energy.
I think for
it's just from shoving it in, because men have been taught and conditioned. So I have a friend, he's a guy friend. He's awesome. He's married, damn it, but he's awesome. And he's very in tune with his emotions, and he's very hard on his sleeve. And he represents that for other people and encourages other men to be like that. So if there was more of that, and really just honoring it, then somebody else would feel safe to be their authentic self. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I say this with so many things. Like even with clients, like they come and they're like, oh, nobody knows I'm here. Right. And it's like, I actually know 2 of your friends and they came last week. So if everybody would talk about like what's going on in their lives. And even yesterday when I posted, I don't like the energy right now. The full moon, I was a little bit edgy. I felt like I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. Something is coming. Something major is coming. I needed to clean out my house. Like I took like 4 buckets of stuff to the
interesting.
garage that I'm going to be selling.
I'm doing some work in the house again, right? Because I've recommitted to my home, right? Everything is all, and everything's been going great. And so now there's a little dumpster in my driveway, right? And so I walk out and I'm looking in the garage and I'm like, oh, you know what? We need to get rid of some crap.
Yeah, and
this is the time to do it.
Yes.
And it feels
people are
I'm
feeling
excited
it.
about it. Just to get rid of this stuff that's just old and dirty and broken, or things that I've hung on to for no reason.
You're gonna get around the fix. You just won't.
Even if it's not broken, you just are you're not into it anymore. Just let it go.
Our neighborhood, for the first time ever, got dumpsters for the whole neighborhood that are at the end of the cul-de-sac for people. On Sunday, they dropped them off Sunday morning. Yeah. They'd already replaced them by noon on Sunday.
Wow, that's awesome.
And they're already full again.
Clean it out.
Yeah.
Wow, and the timing is interesting.
Right? Isn't that weird?
Right?
So everybody can feel this, whether you're aware, consciously or whatever.
Yeah.
But we're being guided to release old stuff.
How long does the full moon energy last?
So you usually feel the energy 3 days before and 3 days after. So last night, I don't know when
Monday
this
night
airs.
was
You
the
guys,
fullest.
Monday night,
Monday night was the fullest.
Yeah, so we'll still feel it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. People that are really energetically sensitive might feel it a week before.
Yeah.
I know I can feel it early, and my kids.
So isn't that weird that my dream was like 2 days before?
Yeah. It's just
weird.
clearing out that.
And you gave everybody a full moon on your Zoom.
That's
Not
funny.
exactly.
Well, kind of.
Kind of the same. No coincidences here.
That's really funny. So the other things that are coming up right now for people is to really be mindful of, so like there's so much judgment and so much division out there, and it's really hard. People are very adamant about their beliefs one way or the other, and it's really hard to understand how the other side is choosing that when they would never choose that. And really right now it's just turn that back on yourself, right? Where are you judging yourself? Where are you incredibly harsh on yourself? Where could you have more compassion? Because if you can't love all the aspects of yourself, and it is a journey. I mean, I'm still learning to love all aspects of myself and just being really aware of the harsh conversation in the head. But that's what's coming up right now too, is releasing that. How is that working for you? It's not, you know what I mean? So lots of
the whole
of
conversation. That's something that has been like kind of top of mind too. It's like now I'm much more intentional about saying nice things to myself.
Yeah,
right,
definitely.
And also, like that little what do you call it in the morning? Kind of like the going through your list of things that you're thankful for, just kind of like, or things in your life, or just like this morning was
affirmations.
Great, the affirmations, it really is. I mean, it's like, it's just kind of become something that I do. And this morning was great because windows open last night, right? It was a beautiful evening. Woke up this morning and I can hear the birds singing.
Yeah.
And it was just drop dead silent in my house. And I could hear Jack off in the corner. And I was like, so quiet, and hearing that, just that, couldn't hear anything else. I'm like, that's a gift. That right there is just so calming. It feels so good. But the whole, when you talk about resonating and the whole vibrancy, what he would say, vibrations or frequency, all that stuff. I found actually on TikTok, there's a guy on there and he has that healing vibration, healing frequency is what they have. There's several of them that are on there that use that.
Our FYPs are so different.
I know, right?
I get guys making steak.
I have those too. I got people grilling steak
all day long. Yeah.
But yeah, the healing frequency. I tripped across this guy. He doesn't say a word. He just hits the tuning fork and then just lets it.
Where do you notice this in your body?
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it
And
says.
you what in
it
your
just
body?
says, where do you feel this?
Where do you feel this in your body? Because certain tones are going to heal different aspects of your body.
That's interesting.
Fascinating.
So like the 528 hertz is typically targeted at the heart.
That's where I felt it.
Yep,
it was just like right here. And I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
isn't that amazing?
It is weird.
Yeah. But it's just an example of how what I do works and how sound and frequency and light is healing. And what you were talking about, that gratitude is, last night I sat in the grass and I just wrote a mental list of all the
Why
things
do you sit
I
in the
appreciate.
grass?
It's very grounding. It just
They tell people barefoot is
I
great.
tell people. So I just had a friend, her brother messaged me and he is having severe anxiety and it's debilitating. And one of the first things I said was get outside. Sit under a tree, put your root chakra by a tree, or get your butt on the ground or your bare feet on the ground.
Yeah.
And it's just very grounding. There's science behind it, the actual ions, right? But it is medicine. I tell my kids, like, nature is medicine. And it sounds all weird and hippie, but it's not. It's, and I could say that I think rubber shoes were created with an intention to keep you separate from earth and the healing medicine,
or an
and
unintended
again,
consequence that is like, that worked well. That worked well. Let's make more kids.
Yeah, I seem to see like all of the, the intentions behind it to keep people sick and why we do things, but yeah, just take off your shoes or get more house plants. My sister is a teacher and she doesn't get outside as much as she'd like to. And I'm like, bring plants into your classroom. That will
That's
help
a great
too.
idea too. I can't, I don't know. My cats might not. I don't know about these cats, if they go after the plants or not. I have to try it. I don't know. I've always had trouble with plants and cats.
Yeah, my cat, I have to put him. I know if he throws up, it's because he ate a plant. But,
he froze up. Oh, throws up.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of plant you got?
I'm just hoping he figures it out. But so yesterday I was sitting in the grass and I just, posted, I'm feeling a little bit off and I don't love this energy right now. And something is coming and I'm just waiting.
Like, what is it? Personally or globally?
It feels like a collective. It feels like a collective shift. And I'm hoping it is the solar flare. I don't know if you're aware of this or what, but there's talk in the spiritual community that we're expecting a solar flare, which would be some sort of light that comes and nobody is immune to it. It changes everyone. And I've heard it hasn't come because people aren't ready. Like if we can't even believe in some of these quote unquote conspiracy theories and realize the agendas behind it, how on earth could everybody just suddenly wake up and not be completely shocked and like literally die of shock, right? So I'm just hoping that it is a revelation of information. And if for me, the ideal situation would be the solar flash removes the programming and the lies and the limitations so that people can really see who they are, what they are, and remember, because we came into this world with amnesia, a veil to hide the truth of who we are. Because if we remembered everything, this experience would be kind of pointless. It's like, okay, I'm going to meet you and we're going to do this. And I know at age 24, I do that. So the amnesia helps you actually experience the human experience.
Yeah.
But if we could get rid of the programming and the amnesia and really go back to who we truly are, like the anger, the fear, the division, it would all fall away because we are truly loving beings and there's so much more potential for us. But
there's a podcast I've listened to. I really like this guy, and he made mention of a couple of things that just kind of like, it's like the light went on. And he said that a lot of the stuff that when you discover things and you have an aha moment, it's like the information's been there all along, but you weren't ready to see it. Right. And now all of a sudden you're able to absorb it and you couldn't see it before. It's kind of like people when they go back to the Bible and they read the Bible and all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, now I see what this means. You weren't ready.
Just clicks.
Yeah. You weren't ready for it before. And he also said the other one, which you've heard that saying before too, that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And it happens time and again. It's like, oh my God, I never would have met this person or heard what they had to say. I couldn't have heard them before. And then now you do. It's like, I love that saying.
Well, even I remember the first time I came here and I talked about solfeggio frequencies, you looked at me like, what? Like you, and then like 6 months later, you're like, hey, I just heard these tones. I'm like, yes, the seed is blooming.
Because that was not on my radar.
Yeah. And you weren't able to hear it at the time, but I know, I totally get it.
It's like somebody says, I only see red trucks on the road. And then I drive down the road and all I see is red trucks now. And it's like, okay, now you're open to.
Yeah. And that is an example of manifesting, and you attract what you're thinking about or what you're talking about. And that's why it's so incredibly important to be really aware of the subconscious conversation. And even when clients come to me and they say like, I'm just like, okay, let's be careful here because that is a magic wand. And whatever you say following that, your cells are going to go to work and make that happen.
Right. So
a lot of people that are living great lives or miserable lives, it's really a self-fulfilling prophecy. They're getting back what they expect.
So like when you look in the mirror,
what they speak.
Right. And you look at yourself and say, oh my God, I am so fat. That's not helping.
Yeah.
That's not helping.
But what if I'm really super fat? Like legit, my pants. We were talking about this before we started recording.
You got to look at yourself like the sculptor looks at the stone because they see everything that needs to be taken away to find the thing. That
I do that.
It's like
I know it needs to be taken away.
They can see what needs to fall away in order for whatever the design or the pieces that they're going to be crafting, which blows my mind. But I love hearing people talk like that because it's like they look at something, they see what's in it. They don't see just the flat surface of it.
Yeah, but then it takes a lot of work to chip up all that freaking rock. And like, so I see it. I remember what it used to look like. I need a bigger pants. I need bigger t-shirts.
And I'm opposite. So I'm the heaviest I've ever been right now. And I can remember at every stage in my life, I always thought I was too big, too fat. It wasn't good enough, right? And now I look back and I'm wearing this short little schoolgirl skirt at age 36 and rocking my heels, and I looked amazing, right? Looked amazing. But even then, I was wearing control top underwear because I thought my stomach was too big. But I have created now the image that I saw then.
Think about that.
And
that's huge. I mean,
that is manifesting.
Wow.
It is creating my reality. It didn't work out so great, but it is exactly what I was doing because I saw through my own trauma, my own negative self-talk, my own unwillingness to love myself and fully accept who I was. I created what I saw.
Have you ever heard the saying, Lily Tomlin, I think it is, had a saying that said something about, I always said I wanted to be somebody when I grew up. I should have been more specific.
Totally.
Right? Yeah. And you do that to yourself. You unconsciously, it's not like it's going to happen in a week. This is long term because that's the way we were conditioned as kids and especially women's magazines and daytime television and, and all that stuff and the way it spoke to you. That's just and maybe the way your mom talked to herself.
Well, even in TV shows, I was flipping through Netflix and I couldn't find anything I wanted to watch because all of the themes were the same. It was either you get a bunch of stuff or you look this way, you know what I mean? It was just like, or it was all horror and fear, you know what I mean? But it's the same thing. So I'm with you. Like I was standing in line at Marshall's and I saw the video camera recording me as I'm standing there, and I was like, "Wow."
The only thing is at least it's a down angle, like we talked about at the beginning. It's
Okay,
deep, but
so
sometimes
I'm really
have you ever
screwed
looked
then.
at that? Have you ever looked
Walgreens
at
does that to me too, though.
Walgreens
you walk in, there's those mirrors. I'm like,
Or
oh
the
my
self checkout, you look at the camera and you're like, "Wow, I actually thought I looked good today."
Right,
Like,
I
what
know.
just happened?
I know.
What's
Have
the
you ever
filter on
have you
this
looked in those before? Looked in that screen and then like, who's that person? Like, look behind you. You're like, holy shit, that's me.
Yeah. So the good
Yeah, I
thing
know.
is that we're all dealing with it. But then, so like even last night, I put on some music and I was trying to dance.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to find
Shake it up.
appreciation for my body. Like it could be way worse. It really could. So I'm just
Right.
trying to be grateful and appreciate what I have now, and really spend time thanking my body for what it's doing.
Right.
Yes.
And,
That's part of my
I-
affirmation is the health and ability. It's like, my God, there's so many things to be grateful for. There's so many things that you can, instead of beating yourself up over the
Right.
few things that are not right. And you just want to be.
I know if you really take a toll,
Wow.
like if you took a toll of your life, like there's way more good going on than there
Yes.
is bad. And we just focus on the bad. And again, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You are going to get back what you expect and what you put out. So just be really mindful, really mindful
Yeah.
of that. So
That's great. I
Well,
love when you stop by.
Yeah,
I love
thanks for
stopping.
lifting the energy up in
We
here.
just went all over the place.
I know, it
we
was all
covered
over the
all
place.
kinds of. But did we get everything you wanted to talk about?
yeah,
right?
no,
Okay.
it's, I have some things for next time. So
Excellent.
Perfect. Save that content, yo. Thanks, Rhianna. How can people find you?
RhiannaMays.com.
You're
Thank you
awesome.
guys.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
It's Pat and JT, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or 402-403-9478.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.